bones that are connected with joints. What? I was talking to me. So everything that is connected with little joints, that's what I want you to be aware of. Right now, the muscles and all the meat on you, I want you to think about that's all hanging down, okay? So I want you to think about, first of all, your foot muscles. Be aware there's a ball of a foot, a middle of a foot, and a heel, and see how I can actually transfer my body weight from the ball of the foot to the middle of the foot to the heel, to the middle of the foot to the ball. See, I have so much movement there without even having to make a step. And all of these things I do because I want to create a sensitivity for that, because we need that for the balance and for your alignment, okay? So now what I want to do, I want you to think that you make all the joints as long as possible. So your foot joints, your knee joints, your hip joints, every single vertebrae, the sternum, the shoulder joints, the heads, where the head sits on, the neck vertebrae, your elbow joints, your fingers, make that as long as possible. Once you did that, I want you to take your arms and clasp them above your body and stretch up as far as you can. Like, take a deep breath in. And now keep the body where it is. You can breathe out, but don't drop your rib cage. Just drop your arms down. Roll your shoulders back. And this is the basis where we're going to move from. Okay? So you will probably feel right now that you cannot move. You're so straightened out. You're so flat ironed out that you cannot move, correct? Yeah? All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to analyze that a little bit more. The part where I feel when I really stretch my sides and everything that I get aware of very much is where my sternum is here. Yeah. That sternum here is called a center of levitation when I talk about standard or smooth. So feel how that is lifted up and feel how your whole belly muscles and everything and your back muscles here, once that's lifted up, this is actually very long. It's not tense, but it's just long on both sides, okay? So as a contrary thing, I want you guys right now to let that go. Boom, let your sternum go. Let it sit on your belly like it's on the couch. Feel that? Yeah? So right now when we're sitting like the belly in the couch, this is what a lot of us, when we start dancing, we're not aware of it. We're not aligned. And we're starting in that position. So what happens? It's like everything right now in my body started to go soft. Yeah. Everything, when I put some pressure in my foot and I want to move and this is soft, I will not move at the same time. I will kind of wobble around. See that? Yeah. So everything will kind of, if I put something into my feet, some pressure in my feet, I'm trying to move the whole Babette, it's not going to go well because this is like not engaged. So I'm taking my center of levitation and I'm going to lift it up forward over my ball of my feet, and I keep it there. I still have to breathe though. Now, this is something that I actively have to work on all the time. It's not going to be there one day. It's just going to get easier because I get more flexibility and more strength to keep it there. But this is one postural thing that I have to think about all the time, and it also has to do with balance, because now if I lift that up over the ball of my feet, my belly and my back can just fall down naturally. Yeah. My gravity center, we're going to talk about that in a second, is relaxed and can respond. And if I keep that 1 point up, my activity center, my center of levitation, my center of direction, if I put some pressure and just roll off, now I can suddenly move and the whole Babette's moving, yeah? Not moving any more in pieces. I just move as a whole person. And all I do is I use my feet and it transports my whole body. If I let anything go in my alignment, only portion of my body is going to get transported, not the whole body anymore. But since we want to work efficient, and since we want to tell people very precisely what we want, you know, our partners, to keep that up, is very important, because if you have one message, it's one message and one message only. So there it's clear, not 50 messages. Okay. Second thing I want to, anything that's not clear, please yell at me. I will do better. Okay. Second part in the body that I would like to make aware of is your gravity center. Your gravity center is, if I would suspend you on a string from the ceiling, like these mobiles that hang over the baby's bed with the toys down there, yeah? And it's usually on one string and then it balances itself out. This is where I would balance the body out. Okay, so it's 2 centimeters underneath my belly button. And since I'm 3-dimensional, I have some width in the side as well. So I'm going to find what's half of my side here. So I want you to feel that. Take your fingers and put it into your sides and feel where there is half. Yeah. So you will feel that this is quite far back, half. It's not like right in front here. It actually feels quite far back. And it feels like it's sitting right in front of my spine. So if I connect those dots between my 2 centimeters underneath my belly button and my side half here, I come to one common point when it crosses. That's what I feel is my gravity center, yeah? Gravity center already says it. It's connected to the floor. It's gravity. So I'm never going to hold that gravity center artificially more than I absolutely have to. I want this to be responsive. I want this to be responsive to changing direction. I want this to be responsive to swing and sway. I want this to be responsive to movement. So this one pebble here, this gravity center, is what moves. This here is suddenly my feet are the motor, yeah? My knees and my joints are going to be the cushions of that, okay? Like the suspensions of that. So basically, if I do that one more time, where I say I can move so far, it's my gravity center that moves forward over the ball of the foot or over the heel of the foot. Feel that? Over the ball of the foot or over the heel of the foot. So I have to keep my gravity center always towards the ball of the foot. My heels are still touching the floor, but I could at any time lift them up. Okay, so keep your knees a little bit flexible here, but see how I could very easily lift my heels up. That counts for smooth and rhythm. It doesn't matter which style it is. It's just basics, yeah? The reason being is if my weight is too far in the heel and now I want to start moving, George, I have to first transport my weight.
Pick that other half up.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Somebody's saying hi. I love that. I can't see you. You can't see me. So the weight is going over the gravity over the ball of the feet, and then if I lift up one heel, it's getting transported. I'm going to have to catch it again. Yeah. So basically, that gravity center here is moving all the time. We don't have a static balance. We have a moving balance. We're roaming around the room. We are creating rhythms. It's always in constant movement. And our feet and legs are the ones who are actually going to catch it and redirect it and catch it and redirect it. So the underneath body is like a conveyor belt. See that? And my gravity center is moving around. And I'm trying to constantly bounce it from one foot to the other. So I want you to try that. Let's just try to take your own direction and feel how you can bounce your gravity center actually from one foot, like ping pong tennis. You can throw it, catch it, throw it, catch it, throw it, catch it, throw it, catch it. And then I can throw it, catch it forward and backward. Yeah, I can throw it, catch it forward and backward. And this is actually what is gonna move. If that gravity center doesn't move, I'm not moving. I can swing my leg forward and backward all day long. Yeah, if nothing's moving, see that? Or I can move my arms around myself all day long, nothing's moving. If the gravity center is not moving, nothing's moving. Now the center of levitation has to stabilize it. If I move my gravity center and I leave my sternum down, what happens is my gravity center is moving and this stays back and I get this delayed reaction, much like Jar Jar Binks. from Star Wars, you know, who's making a perfect example out of this. So by keeping my center of levitation elevated and engaged over the ball of my feet, now if I toss my gravity center forward, whoom, and catch it again, I will move coordinated as a whole unit. Does that make sense? Yeah? So far, so good? Yeah? Okay, so since we understand those basics, let's go into the frame a little bit, okay? So how are we going to take hold? Let's go into the smooth. Now, because we have a lot of gentlemen here, let's talk first about the gentleman. And Linda, just do the leading part as well. You can try the leading part as well. It's always good to know both sides, okay? So for a gentleman, you have to give the lady a frame. What does it mean? The elbows are very, very important for that, because the width of anything in your body is not how far your fingers will reach, it's how far your elbows can reach. So what I want you to try right now is like take your fingers about where your sternum is, and then try and get your elbows as far apart as possible. And by apart, I mean sidewards. I don't mean backwards. That would be backwards, yeah? So the arms are still in front of the body. I mean sidewards, yeah? Until you can't no more, as sideways as possible. This is the size of your frame, from elbow to elbow, okay? Now, since it's very easy to then get the wrong muscles engaged, let's talk about that for a second. Again, if I'm too fast, please yell. Also, hello, hello, you can yell too. I don't know. So if it's too fast, yell, please. But a lot of people take the frame by engaging the top muscles here, up here on the shoulders. You know, in life, a lot of times when we go weightlifting, we lift weight from the shoulders upwards. We lift something up like this, you know, and that's a muscle memory that we all have. So, but this is not how we can use the frame. It tightens our neck muscles, and it also means that here our center of levitation is slightly dropped. Because if I use my center of levitation and I have my arms out there and I engage it, actually my shoulders will travel downwards. Those muscles underneath my armpits here will engage, those ticklish muscles, and boom, you will feel how my rib cage slightly expands and allows the frame to sit on that rib cage. You feel that? Yeah? Okay, very, very good. Okay, so now what we're going to do, a lot of shenanigan happens when it comes to that right arm and that connection of the lady. So what I see a lot is that we're putting the frame out and then we're taking the lady. We're trying to pull her in. We're trying to help her. We will never in a high level of dancing or in a good level dancing help any lady by supporting her, by lifting her up with the arms. Yeah, this is like doing, basically you're telling the lady, I have absolutely no trust in you that you can do your job. That's what you're really saying. That means I need to help you to do your job. But we all know in a 50-50 relationship, we both have a job. It might be a different job, but it's equally important. Yeah. So if you pull the lady in, if you try and support her by doing that, you're taking the lady's ability away to do her job. Her job will be to fill out my frame. So if I have elbow to elbow and I'm like opening my right arm slightly and I'm putting my left arm up here, the elbow to elbow is the width. Like here we are. Elbow to elbow is the width. You see that? And here is the size of the frame. This would be a smaller frame. This would be a bigger frame. This would be a smaller frame. This would be a bigger frame. You see with my right arm. You elevated, like natural hand weight drops down slightly. What's really important for me is be really aware of your right hand. What I definitely don't want to see on the back of a lady is a bare claw like this. Yeah. I also don't want to see that, a starfish, no bear claws, no starfish, no floppies, yeah, no thumbs up or anything. Like Really try that second. Put your fingers together and then put your thumb on top and then put your elbows as far out to the side as possible. You'll feel how this slopes down ever so slightly on a very long and elegant thumb. This is not what we want. See, now it's broken. It slopes down. Like the line here goes from my wrist down the thumb, not from my wrist down my digit finger. If you go from the wrist to the digit finger or to the middle finger, then you're having it too far up. I want to go from the wrist to the thumb as having this one line. And you see how my other fingers are falling off there, are falling down. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, so much for the frame that we need. So we have our center of levitation, we have our gravity center. Let's talk about this left arm here, yeah? So this left arm, again, I don't want to have my fingers apart here. I want to keep my fingers together. And I want to show this little cove here between thumb and digit finger. This is what I'm going to give the lady, yeah? Like this, yeah? So that she can take her fingers and hook it together here. And then what I need to do, I need to close it. By closing it, I don't mean hold it, yeah? We don't want to squish the lady's knuckles here. So we need to just close it so it's safe and warm. If you say hi to somebody and you give somebody the hand, if you have a warm and nice handshake, you actually close your fingers slightly. You don't just do that. Or you don't just do that. Yeah, you always want to keep that closed. So not only can you see that, I'm telling you right away what will give you away on the comp. Any of these things will give you away. Yeah. So fingers down here. Here we open it and then we're gonna close it. Our elbows are as far out as you can be. Our sternum is up. Our gravity center is connected. And then we're gonna be soft in our knees with our ankles and feet together right now. If I take them apart a little, feel how your gravity center can start bouncing from one foot to the other and the whole person will move, okay? If you move it forward and backward, you see that the feet are gonna transport your whole body, okay? All right, any questions so far? Yes, please, please. I love questions. Yes, good question.
Still try to get the elbows out and just bring the arms
in? No, you're gonna adjust this downwards. You're gonna keep it. It's like an escalator, an elevator. You go, whoop, you can bring this down. Yeah, just your hands. Bring your hands down. Keep your. The last thing that goes down is the elbows. Look, I would never just drop my elbows down because you will lose your alignment. When I aligned you, there was kind of everything was long. Every single joint in your body was long. Yeah. So while this is my natural height here, if I have somebody who matches that natural height, good. If I have somebody who doesn't match that natural height, I take first my hands down, which will pull my elbows down slightly, and you adjust. Yeah. But what you will never adjust, and that's another good question, you will never adjust your own height of where your center of levitation is. Yeah, I see a lot of times that people who are shorter and want to reach up, they're going to reach up so much they straighten their knees artificially. You still need to keep your technique. If your knees need to be soft, that's the reach you have. That's the size you have. Yeah. If you're taller, you can adjust the frame downwards, but you can never adjust that you go down in your center of levitation or go lower in your knees than you should. Those things you cannot adjust. Whatever size you're given, that is it. We can only make it work by, adjusting the frame, the hands a little bit downward. Everything else here stays exactly the same, no matter what size of person the other person is. Yeah, did that answer your question? Not yet? Yes? Yeah? No, it's a matter of practice. I mean, I've seen huge height differences between dancers, and I've seen both ways. for me, it's an excuse if you say that's not an ideal partner for me because of the height difference. While they are physically more matching partners and physically not as matching partners, that's a truth. However, I've seen world champions that haven't been physically matching. It's a matter of, since we are ballroom dancers and not ballet dancers dance a given choreography made by George Balanchine, and they have to live up to a certain standard of how they look like, how they be, and they become a certain swan or whatever this is. Here in ballroom dancing, I can choose to a certain extent my own choreography, at least on a pro level. You know, I can say, I don't like this, I want to do that, I look better in this, so I'm going to work with my strength. So if I have a partner that is not my height, I will very cleverly choose my choreography to make that more possible. I would take these parts out that are more like not making me look good, and I put other parts in that even it out. My last Latin partner, he's just slightly like same height, but if I'm in shoes, I'm like a little bit taller than him. My leg length is way longer than him, you know, so that was definitely not ideal. Did it work? Yeah. Did we make it work? Yeah. So it's never an excuse, you know, it always works. So you should be fine to dance smooth together. There shouldn't be. All you need to do is adjust it slightly downwards, but never be compelled to go down with your sternum or even lower than you need to be in your height here. The height is the height. That's it. The end. Yeah.
So if we're trying to like that sternum, you have to change your fit.
No, because if I, for example, let's say if I'm an even height with you right now, yeah, so we are pretty good height with each other. So it should be like if we're supposed to connect with our sternums, here's my ribcage, here's his, this is gonna work, yeah? We're gonna be able to connect with the sternum pretty nice. If I'm like a lower height, it won't work. So my sternum is just gonna go a little bit lower than yours, but the mechanics of it, what I'm doing is exactly the same thing. It's just gonna touch you at a lower place. So it's just offset a little bit. It's not at the same place, it's just offset a little place. Thank you. At a little place, but we're doing the same work, because in essence, what it is, this connection, is that as a lady, I'm gonna have this awareness, this counterbalance, and I'm really connecting with my ribcage, my sternum up to the leg, you know. And for the gentleman, it's the same. We're gonna be connected. If I'm a little shorter, this will be a little bit lower for the guy. If I'm a little bit higher, it's gonna be a little bit higher. That's where just what it is, but it should still work. The only mistake is like if I make a mistake in my technique and I don't have the correct angle, or I don't have the correct counterbalance on whatever. So everything else stays exactly the same, even if I feel it down here rather than up here. So if she connects to you down here, it should still work. You do your work, she does her work. Wherever you're gonna connect, what happens height-wise, that's where you're gonna connect. So that shouldn't be an issue. Okay. The only thing with the frame, yeah, we have to get that slightly down, but not your body work. Yeah. All right. Where was I? Okay. So right now we've established the gentleman. Okay. So why don't we all try and establish the follower? And I want right now you gentlemen to also do that, for the reason that I want you to understand the counterpart. Yeah. So when I'm actually as a lady going, like the poise of the lady is an optical illusion. Yeah. What I see a lot is that a lady comes in and then the head goes out this way. See that? Now, why is that wrong? Like, can anybody else tell me why this is wrong? What happens if I dance like this with you? What will happen with you? Why is it wrong? Good. The spine is not, you can clearly see that, true? Yeah. So basically, I'm just faking to look as if. What will happen in my body is like already I feel there's tension on my neck hurts. Yeah. There's tension on my lower body. I will fall away backwards because my shoulder weight already goes over my heels. See that? So now I'm going to do the same alignment like I did before. I'm going to stand up with my sternum over the ball of the foot. See that? Yeah. And now I take the gentleman here, and I take my sternum and I just offset it slightly. See, I take this sternum and I try and reach up to my gentleman. Yeah. I try and reach up to my gentleman to get that connection with the sternum. So this is an isolation, while technically my arms are still at the same line. So it's not so that I'm taking my arms and take him over towards the gentleman. I keep him at the same line. But my sternum is starting to go towards my gentleman. And like, look what happens with my head. My head stays at the same place, but now I counterbalance it. See that? It counterbalances it. Yeah, it counterbalances it. And what you also will feel, you will feel that here you have your shoulder joints. You will feel that your body rotates into this joint and out of this joint. So, and it goes in there and up. Yeah, make sure you have both arms open. So there's like this curve forward and up towards the guy that I mold myself to my partner. Okay, so now let's talk about what we're going to do with our arms. A lot of that, when that happens, I see ladies, they come in and then they're going to take this arm, and this arm starts to be really straight. See that? Like this arm helps the girls to push away, and that's wrong. You know, you see a lot of that. So always notice that if you're in a position where this arm starts to be straight and the shoulder comes up, now you're hanging on to your guy or you're using it. See how my side is getting broken? Yeah. So I always want to make sure, the same way like I told you that the guy has to have the elbows out. Yeah. In essence, the girl has the elbows out too. I'm having my elbows out and I'm molding myself. I'm getting into my poise to offset here. See that? So this elbow is still soft. It's not straightened out. It's still round. It's still soft. I'm pushing my elbow away as far as I can. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm going to show that to you. I'm going to take you. Okay. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to try and build up like this position, this poise. Okay. Sorry, cold hands again. So the first thing is, I want you to, yeah. Okay. So can you stand? It doesn't matter. Just invite me to dance. Boom. Okay. So now what he does, he has his sternum over the ball of the feet. I have my sternum over the ball of the feet. See that? Now all he does, he takes his elbows and he takes them out. That pulls me in towards his right shoulder. See that? Yeah. So I'm stepping about a half a foot away from him. Now what I do, by bending my knees, see how my sternum is up? By bending the knees, we're going to fold together. Keep that open for a second. We're going to fold together. Now what I'm going to do, and I'll do that not in stages, usually I do that in one swoop. Now I'm taking my sternum and I'm going to go and try and reach him with my sternum. See that? Yeah. And see how my head starts to counterbalance. Now what I'm going to do is he's going to close his fingers on my back. I'm going to try and reach that with the back of my frame. See that? That gives me another way of dimension. Now, because he will bend his knees, I will also be able to feel his knees and his legs. So now I have a connection that goes basically from my knees through my body here. I connect myself to him. See, I connect myself to him. That gives me that poise. Now this arm here, I take my middle finger and my thumb. I'm going to put it to where the biceps makes this little cove here, and I'm just going to put this here. Yeah, I'm not going to have a claw. I'm not going to have anything like this. I'm not going to put my wrist up. For the ladies, it's very important. If I do this, I have no connection. The wrist is going to be what I give him, and I just connect with my two fingers. But my wrist needs to really go down and connect, yeah? Here, my wrist is down and connect. My other arm, I was hooking in here, and then our palms here, they're together. I also close my finger gently around him. You see how we have a pretty similar angle here in the arms. My elbow also like pulls out, but not up. Yeah, you pull slightly out. I have this here, my elbows here, and the ticklish muscles were connected. Boom. Now we're starting to create posture and poise. Feel that? Now we can start and bounce the gravity center from foot to foot. And keep that poise with each other. Yeah. Here we go. That makes sense? Yeah. Thank you. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. For the lady, also how this will feel. It feels like, you know, when you go into the Olympics and you watch the athletes, and one of these disciplines, if they have to jump over the high jump, like zoom, they have to go up and over this pole and not throw it down. And you can see when they go up, they really go up and over there. And this up and over, hello, Stella. We're not finished. Mommy is not finished. Sorry. This up and over feeling, this is kind of also something that I feel that I'm doing. It's always up and over. And then you also see that my head, yeah, the eye line, once I'm doing this counterbalance here, my eye line goes up into the ceiling where the ceiling is connected to the wall. That's where I'm looking, like diagonally up, yeah? I'm not gonna go here and then look down to the floor or anything like that. That was distorted. If you see anything like that on a top professional, it is because they have such a wide frame. If you see that this goes away from each other, almost sideways, yeah, it's an optical illusion. It means that they gave the girl such a big frame that between reaching here and reaching there, she's still reaching there like crazy, but it became so big that this happened. It never happens because she's just falling away from him and creating it in a backwards way downwards. It creates because she challenged him up there so much and he challenged her downwards there so much that now my head that's really going into the corner goes back and over out of that huge massive frame he's giving her. Does that make sense? Yeah. So those are the mechanics of what I do. If I put you guys in frame, obviously you have to start to develop that from the ground up, you know, sternum first, gravity center is over the ball of the foot. Then you go in your frame, you close your fingers, you connect here, you get your poise, yeah? Once you start dancing, the first step for you guys is keep that stable and keep that going through your dancing. Do not lose it. Then once that you don't lose it anymore, then you can play with like letting go one hand and letting the lady going even further if the flexibility is there. Because we also have to see that it takes a lot of flexibility up here to even have that room and space in your body to reach. A lot of like smooth dancing and standard dancing means I have to have a lot of space in my body, yeah? A lot of us, as we get older, the older we get, the less space we get in our body. Because we, you know, I already feel it with me, everything is, you know, I have to work so much harder to get space. What helps me the most with creating space is simple yoga exercises, you know, even if you just do cat-cow movements, you know, like to arch back like the cow and then do roll back like the cat and to arch back like the cow and to roll back like the cat. You can feel here how the flexibility is used in your sternum already, how far you can get it backward or forward. Another great exercise that you could do is if you sit on the floor and you cross your legs like this, yeah? A lot of you people, when you do that, you're not able to sit over your sitting bones. You sit there and you maybe get as far as here, you know? I want you to consciously be aware how that feels if I really roll up through my pelvis. See that? I roll up through my pelvis here until I'm really extended and can extend my center of levitation forward. Then I can practice that to sit there and keep this up. Let all the muscles hang. Keep my head right away aligned there. That's a great exercise for you smooth. See, Russ, you're not sitting over your sitting bones. There's lots of room for improvement. And that is called something, what I like to do is called development, because our bodies are having faults, having things that we can or cannot do. For some people, this is super easy. Like I have a friend, her name is Elena, and if we do the yoga together, she's like, I don't feel anything. I'm like, you know, what do you mean I don't feel anything? She just has so much natural, she's double jointed. There's a lot of natural space for her in the body. With me, not so, you know, I don't have lots of space in my body, so I have to create space. So this is how you can work on that, you know, to really try and roll up on your sitting bones, and then you maybe let go and roll it back and get to here and move it forward again. And then maybe try circles. Try circles with your sternum from forward, side, and backwards, and have that coordination going forward to the side and backwards. So that's a great isolation coordination that you can do in order to get more sensitivity and more space in your body and flexibility in order to dance. Yeah. And then you can go really big, make a huge circle as far as you can forward with your chin and everything to the side and all the way backwards. We can roll this, yeah? All of these things are for your body coordinations, so you can feel your sternum, you can feel your gravity center, and you can see how this all works together. And then if you're searching for balance, you have the space to reach there and find it, yeah? So those are exercises. I want you to do those daily. Also with your, I mean, there's a million other exercises and stretches. I do yoga like this almost daily with very, very simple exercises just to maintain myself, because I'm getting older and my body doesn't stay the way. My body just decides to lose its flexibility and its space very easily. So I have to really, really work on it. Okay. So this is something I also want to put for yourself at your heart when you're dancing smooth or rhythm or anything really. It will not only make you feel better and breathe better and align you better, but that's what you need for your dancing. Absolute must need for your dancing. Okay. How much time do we have? I have no idea. We're done? Okay, all right, then let's somehow crawl to a regular space, standing. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna practice a bow at the end of the lesson. This is what we would do when we finish dancing, okay? So for the gentlemen, I would like to see a bow where you just go side together and nod your head. So we're gonna go side together, we say thank you very much. We're gonna go side together, we're gonna say thank you very much. And so for the ladies, where we're gonna go side, we're gonna cross our thighs, and we're gonna we're not nodding our head. We're gonna keep our chin high. We're just gonna bend a little bit and straighten a little bit. And then we're gonna go to the other side, keep the head high. Thank you very much. And then we're gonna go and we're gonna walk off that floor. Thank you. All right. Okay. Good. Here you go.
That's good. Had a good time. Right, tomorrow you should be able to.
know, but then also the body is like, yeah, we have habits, you know, we have to realize that. We have habits and if a habit of beating you and whether we create a different kind of thing, that's gonna be so awkward. What is it? Yeah, but now I give you awareness. I want you guys when you go out there, how many times that you be aware? If I just stand there and talk right now, I can command a room. I get everybody's attention just by getting my sternum up there. That gives me authority right away. So maybe not. I don't
Hey,
have
guys.
to do anything, so I just lift that sternum and then all my muscles fold.
I'm gonna take care of it.
Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes.